Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. Good to see you. Welcome. Today we're going to be continuing work on the Paladin character. I don't know, maybe I'll do some animation tweaks and then basically we're just going to want to get some artifacts in for that character. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. If I don't have any ideas or whatever for the artifacts, I'll just continue on with something else. But before I get into it, I want to remind everyone that Alchemortis is available for wishlisting. So take a look at that, wishlist it if you're interested. You can also become a member on Patreon. If you subscribe at the sponsor tier here for at least 1 month, I will send you an Alchemortis Steam key when the game launches, and you will get your name in the in-game Alchemortis credits. So if that sounds good to you, check it out. You can also support me by purchasing one of my Udemy courses. These will teach you how to build complete games in the Godot engine. And you can also become a member on YouTube. So those are all the options available if you want to check it out. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and bring up the character Paladin. So this is the guy that I'm working on right now. I was working on the run animation. Let me just take another look at that. Now that I've slept on it a little bit, I may be able to... Well, what is going on here? Why can't I do this? These animation trees are always a little bit confusing. Oh, wait, here we go. I turned the wrong thing off. There we go. Okay, run animation. Let's just go ahead and put this guy here. Let's see how it looks. Good morning, Ninja Link. Welcome. Good to see you. Snail cats. Good to see you again. So there's the run animation. Yeah, I think it's a little bit weird because the legs, it's hard to do the legs right. Maybe I'll give it another shot. Actually, I think I have an idea for how to fix it. But anyway, he's got the skulls on the rope there that are physics-based, so there we go. So yeah, let's take a stab at making this these legs a little bit nicer. Oh goodness, this is gonna be... This was already unmanageable, or almost unmanageable, when I was working with full resolution, but now I'm zoomed in. So this is gonna be a little bit difficult, but let's see. Leg left upper. Leg left upper. Let's get rid of the arm left root. I almost think it needs to go... Maybe part of this is I just don't have... I don't have enough like actual bones to move this guy. Okay, and then for the leg right upper, we're going to want to do something similar. Probably not that much, but yeah, probably not that much. I don't know if this is gonna work. Leg right, leg left lower. Where is leg left lower? Here it is. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. These animations always look particularly goofy in the editor, but they don't usually look that terrible. Okay, that looks terrible. Let me think. Man, I've been struggling with this animation forever. Okay, I don't even think that moved in the right direction at all. So I'm going to just get rid of that. Okay. I'm trying to, I would like to give him more of like a stomp animation for his walk, but I also don't know how to do that. So I guess we're gonna have to just play around with it a little bit. Let's turn that off, move him back here. Animation player, run, autoplay. How's the development? It's going good. Thank you, Amir. Welcome back. New character, what's this thing? This is I don't know what I'm gonna call him yet, but this is like a dark paladin. So the Dark Paladin, I think what I want to do with the Dark Paladin is make him scale off of or have special interactions with weapons and corrupted abilities. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking, but we'll see. Good morning, Ariane, welcome back. Snup Bill, thank you for the IDR 10,000, very much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. With the message yummers, welcome back. I was watching pretty much all the World Cup games, that's why I was missing the lives. That's all right. That's okay. I mean, this run animation isn't terrible. I think the legs are really just the problem. I like how this physics rope thing turned out. I think that looks pretty good. I had to do a bunch of weird things to get that to work though. What I ended up doing is the physics simulation ended up getting kind of just completely broken when I would move this guy around in global space. So the way that this works is like this character root here, this is what gets moved around on the map as you're moving to different things, right? And the physics, the rigid body 2Ds here, being at part of this tree, inheriting the transforms, was just like completely like the whole physics was going wonky. So what I ended up doing is I ended up just putting all of the physics like rope stuff under just a plain node here, so it breaks the transform inheritance. So these exist in sort of like they exist in global space, but they're not, their position in transform is not dependent on where the character is anymore. But that broke the render order that I wanted for the skulls, because I want the skulls to render in front of the back leg here, but behind the front leg. And so what I had to do is I had to put the physics objects in that top level here, but then use the remote transform 2D to push the rigid body transforms onto these skulls here. So a little bit weird, but it works. So the physics simulation now works basically flawlessly, no matter where the character is in the world. There's no scaling being applied to them anywhere. There's no like abrupt transformations to their transforms. And then the skulls are still able to render within the proper like render order that I want. So yeah, so the physics simulation is basically just invisibly happening somewhere else, and then whatever transforms are being caused by the physics simulation are just sent back essentially to those little skulls there. So yeah, I think that works. Now, there is a problem with this approach. And let me show you the problem with this approach. There's the problem with this approach. It does not work for some reason in the UI character list here. So, yeah. I'm gonna have to figure that one out. Could be decal. Think dragging of the scythe. Well, I tried to accomplish that. The problem is the run cycle is not it's not that long. I mean, I can give it another stab. Yammers. But anyway, let's just focus on the run animation for now. Do I want to... I mean, I could try... Maybe we just try to do the dragging the scythe thing. Which means I'm probably gonna have to just get rid of most of this animation here. But did I make any changes to this that I need to commit? No. All right. I'm almost wondering if I should just do a different, maybe I'll just start a new animation. I don't really feel like wading through that whole mess. Okay, let's just see if we could do a scythe drag. How long was this run cycle? 1 second. Okay. Oops. Okay. Oh, I am changing the position here. Interesting. Okay. Rotation. I guess I'll just keyframe the position here. -4, 6. I should probably do this actually. Let's do a node 2D and left root. We'll paste, put that in there. That's gonna break this though. This position needs to be 0, 0. Actually, there shouldn't be a reset here. Run. This should... Where's my hand left? Here we go. Position. Let's do this. Why is that not... I don't know why that's doing fractional. Stuff. Whatever, that's probably good. Okay. Can you make a scythe dangling like skulls but put invisible collision as ground? I think that would be overkill. I don't think there's any reason to do that. It should all be accomplishable in the animation player. Okay, sorry about this. Give me 3 minutes. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, okay. Alright, back to what we were doing. Scythe. Well, that's not gonna work. I need to tween the rotation. Alright, so let's see if this will work. Okay, so we do something like that. It did not save the rotation, even though I have record on. Why did that not save the rotation? Okay. Arm left. I wish it would auto add keyframes. Well, this actually, I can do that, right? Insert key based on mask. Oops, no, that's not right. Is there a way to auto add keys when it detects that I'm changing something? Create 2 new tracks. Oh, based on the mask. Oh, so if I do that, oh, I see. That's new. I mean, that's not new. I think it's new to me. So based on what I have selected here, we'll add tracks for both of those things. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So that helps a little bit. So we do this. We go back to the hand left. We'll rotate this out a little bit more. And then for the scythe, we'll just rotate this one a little bit as well. Okay. So let's just see if we can get like a dragging motion to work here. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to change this position to be out here. And then we'll do, I don't know, we'll just bring the arm left out. Something like that. And we need this to loop. Okay. So, yeah, maybe cubic, let's see. So that kind of back and forth motion, we can actually maybe exaggerate it a little bit. Obviously, we're going to want to move everything else, but okay. So if he's just walking and dragging this thing behind, that's what we're gonna want to try to sell here. Can you share who made the Steam art? I don't know. I don't know if I could do that. I mean, I don't even know the full details of the artist myself. Like, I don't have the I don't have like his portfolio site or anything. But I can ask again. I'll ask again and see if I can share it. My understanding is probably, I mean, my impression at least is that this artist doesn't usually do like capsule art because the artist is like a full-time artist actually making game art. So the publisher just had a connection to him and works with him on a semi-regular basis for capsule art, but for the most part, the artist is focused on doing actual art for games. So I don't know if he's in the market for like, you know, advertising, hey, I can do Steam capsule art, you know what I mean? But I'll ask again and see. Why are animations so hard? I don't understand. Okay. Do I do the legs next, or do I do... Let's do the other arm. Let's do the other arm. So where is my arm right? Let's insert... Oh, I don't have an insert key on my keyboard. Okay. Insert. Okay, so this arm right, we're going to turn this rotation up a little bit. And we're going to take the hand right. We're going to insert keys for those. Take the hand right, do this. Okay. This one is going to want to move the other direction as that one's going forward. And then we're also probably going to want to just do something like that, and then this like that. Okay. Alrighty, so arm right position. And maybe we'll offset this just a little bit. This rotation is not apparent enough. Okay, so we'll try that. What was I gonna do? There was something I was gonna do here. Maybe I'd change the arm left or the arm right rotation here. Something bigger, I guess. There was one thing I was going to do and I forgot. I feel like this rotation is not big enough either. Okay. Make that cubic, I suppose. Okay. What was I going to do? There was some very specific thing that I was going to do. Well, it's gone. It's gone. I watched your interview with Blake Ghosty yesterday. It was really cool. What was it like being interviewed? I mean, it's just like, it's just like having a normal conversation. It was fun though. I've done a couple of interviews. I did one with Aramis as well a while ago. Yeah, it was fun. I like it. Firebelly creating a system with 500 alchemy variables. This is easy. Firebelly trying to animate a moving arm. Yeah. Yeah, animation is definitely not my forte, which is one of the main reasons why I'm not doing frame by frame animations, because like it's hard enough for me to do keyframe animations, but imagine I made a bad animation with like 8 frames or whatever, and then I decided I didn't like the animation. I would have to go and redraw potentially almost all of the frames, right? Every time I wanted to tweak the animation. And that would have happened for sure. So being able to find like animation keys and see how it looks and then tweak it, but then also like, you know, a couple days later, revisit the animation and be like, actually, I don't quite like that. And then just make like little tweaks here and there. That does a lot for my, my sanity, quite frankly. All right, well, I guess now the mystery really is the legs. How do I actually get the legs to do what I want? That is going to be the hard part. Do we want to move the left leg forward with... Move the left leg forward with the right, or the left arm there? Insert, create. So let me just see if I can get some motion going on here. So if we do -2 there, take this, move this over here, do cubic, and let's just see what that kind of motion looks like. Okay, rotation. The rotation needs to go out to, oops, wrong one. Do I actually want to move this up as well? Well, let's do the lower part of the leg as well. So we just want rotation for this one. So leg left lower. Probably going to need some more keyframes there. See, that's the problem, is like I don't know how to get like a good stomping animation. I think I probably need another... I probably need like another set of keyframes so that it goes like straight down instead. So maybe I do want to bring this up. I have no idea what I'm doing, but that's okay. And then we're going to bring this down like so. Change the rotation here. Actually, we should probably make it totally straight. And then this one, does that make any bit of improvement? A little bit, I suppose. I guess what I really need here is... Okay, that may work. I have no idea. Probably going to need to tweak that a little bit. Maybe this one... Maybe it should start at -2 as well. I think once we get the body moving correctly, it will be okay as well, but... okay, let's see. Leg right upper. Insert key. Turn position off, leg right lower. Insert key. That is so much nicer. Okay. So we're going to get rid of these, paste the keys. Okay, that's not quite working, but that's okay. Let's just flip these ones around. That is not quite what I wanted either, is it? Oh, did I? This one should be 0. This one should be like -6. No, that's not going to work. I probably should just do these from scratch. Okay. Why is this so hard? I'm famous. Hello, Emerson. Art side is the hardest part for me. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah. It is very hard. Okay. I think... I don't know, man. I don't even know what legs are. This is gonna look ridiculous. But we will work on it. Yeah, the problem is that needs to go back as well. How in the world? Oh. Oops. We're just gonna reverse this entirely. That's not gonna work, but maybe it'll get me closer. Okay. This is too difficult. I'm trying to think if there's an easier way. To sell a walk animation without me having to fiddle with legs all day. It looks kind of like he's galloping now, but that's all right. Actually, that doesn't... I don't think the right leg looks that bad. It's the left leg now that's a problem. This is not going to work. Oh, one problem is this rotation should actually probably be, oops. Well, I'm sure that's going to look terrible, but let's just see. Yeah, that looks terrible. Okay, cool. All right, let's try again. Any new features regarding C# in Godot 4.7? Not specific to C#, I don't think, no. But welcome back, Smashwall Dev. Hello, Mel's. What about dragging the legs? I think I might try that, yeah. Art versus code, which is harder? Depends on what kind of person you are. Depends what kind of person you are. I wonder if this would be easier using Bone 2Ds. I thought about doing that, but I don't know if Bones would give me that much compared to how I have it set up. Like, this is essentially a bone system where I can like rotate the root and it rotates the foot along with it. And then I can rotate the foot independently, right? So I don't know if a bone system would give me much more than that, but could be wrong. Not really that I know anything about them. For bone animation, 2D sprite, I tend to re-render it pixelated and use upscaled texture. It really hides the jank a lot. That's an interesting idea. Would it be easier to only do one leg, duplicate and offset the timing for other? I tried to do that, and then I got lost in the keyframes, so we're gonna try maybe more subtle motion instead of more exaggerated motion. Maybe we'll try more of like a shuffle thing. I have no idea if this is gonna work, but just gonna have to struggle through it, I guess. Okay. Let's just do something very simple. We'll start this at -2. We'll go over here, move this over. Okay. We're gonna insert another key here. Zero there. Oh, the problem is I need like another keyframe. I need like another keyframe here, which is basically it just goes to 0, stays at 0. Okay. Basic motion. Let's just start with the basic motions first, and we'll add rotations later. Okay, so this one needs to go position there. It needs to go basically -4, or let's do maybe -5 here. Okay, and then it needs to go up. So this would be -5, -2. Okay. This would be 0, -2, and then 0, 0. These timings are a little off, but that's okay. that starts at 0, 0 in both cases. So maybe I just delete this keyframe. Yeah. Spread these out a little bit more. Okay, let's see if that's a better base first. Okay, we're gonna probably want to add some easings and whatnot. Okay, maybe that's a better base. I have no idea. But now that we have the motion down, let's see if adding any rotations will help. So let's start with the leg left here. Okay. We're just gonna start it very basic. Okay, and then the right upper. This one is gonna need to go let's keyframe this rotation here. And then we're gonna want something similar like this. All right, let's take a look at that. Okay, so maybe now with some feet angulation, maybe it'll be all right. Okay, so this one. Oh, that's just gonna work. Okay, and then the leg left lower. Let's see what that does. I'm gonna try something here. -3, -3, position here. Okay, and then maybe these need to be angled more. So this one, when it kicks out here, this is leg right upper. Just a little bit more. And then for the leg left upper, put this one up a bit more as well. No, I don't think that works either. Maybe just go higher on the back end, maybe. So here, leg left upper rotation, just bring it, it's not, I don't think that's gonna work. But we'll just do a little bit of experimentation. Probably not gonna work. No. Leg left lower rotation. What is this one? Leg left lower? Maybe this rotation just goes up a little bit. And then leg right lower rotation. Same deal. Okay. Those are rotating too much. Really? Leg right lower. Oh, that's leg left lower. Oops. Leg left lower. Here. Okay, that works better because the leg is staying at a constant angle now, or the foot. And then for the right one, I think it's gonna have to be the same thing. So this right one, yeah, this needs to be the reverse. It needs to go like this, there we go. And then out. How to collapse functions inside VS Code GD script. I think there's little collapsible sections. I mean, you'll have to have like a GD script language server installed as an extension, but, or not the language server, but the extension that interfaces with the language server. But then you should just have like these little collapse things. Did you see the dev log where the dev ignores the animation player and uses the process function with sine waves to create detailed animation behavior, not for your game? Yeah, so procedural animation. I don't know which devlog you're talking about specifically, but I know there's a couple of devs on YouTube that are showcasing like procedural animation systems. That seems like that would be really hard to do, but it does produce a nice result if you do it right. I don't know what to do about this. Hmm. Yeah, this rotation needs to be like that. Why is this rotation? I'll put this out here. Maybe, I think another problem too is probably this should actually be like out here maybe, and then this should be reduced. Yeah, I almost wonder. Okay. I probably don't want this to go as far out either. We can maybe make it far out there. Well, not super far, just like that. Bring it in. This should still be -3. And this needs to be 1. Let's see what that does. So make the motions along the x-axis a little bit. I don't know. Let's animate the body now and see if that makes a difference. And I think the scythe arm needs to be adjusted too. Yeah, I think here's what I'll do. Working on new animations. Kind of hard to animate like that. Never an easy process. I don't know what the hotkey is, Neozoid. I'm sorry. Hello, Zick Skill. Welcome. Good to see you. All right, I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break and then we'll keep messing around with this animation. I hope I can get it into a presentable state before the end of the stream, but we'll see. Anyway, be right back in 3 minutes and we will continue on. All right, let's see what we can do here. Okay, the body. I'm just gonna sketch something out here. I might change this back to -2. Back to -2 there. I think the legs are going up too high now. Maybe I'll change the, let's see, the scythe a little bit. Or the arm left here. It's probably too far out. I wonder if I should pull it down as well. Just by like a pixel. And then as that's pulling down, hopefully what I can do here is just rotate this out just a little bit. Does that look any good whatsoever? No, the legs look terrible still. Well, the legs look terrible still. What the heck, man? What the heck, man? Am I just doomed to have terrible legs? Am I doomed to have terrible legs? He looks like a Lego character. I'm doomed. I'm doomed to have terrible legs. Oh, goodness. Leg left lower. Actually, that looks better. I wonder if it's mostly just the feet. Okay, I gotta get the head in shape, I think. Also, the scythe is not looking too good. Arm left. If I just reverse these. Yeah. Maybe that's better. Hello, Amungos. What's up? Welcome back. Clicker Tail, hello, welcome. What if I made him legless? I'm very tempted to do that. Stayed up till 8 a.m. just fixing bugs. Oh no. I think now the head movement is the problem. Yeah, I gotta do the head now. If he's dragging a heavy scythe, his right arm wouldn't move much. Yeah, so maybe I'll just turn this one down a little bit. If I took the body. Okay, let's animate the head now and see what happens. I think that back leg is not looking good. I have a meeting to get to, so I'll have to catch you later. Good luck with the animation. Have a great one. All right, thanks, Ninja Link. Thanks for joining. Always good to see you. And I hope you have a good day. All right, the head. Goodness gracious. Okay. So the head is obviously going to need to move with the body. And then we could do like a rotation as well. Okay. Yeah, that other leg is a problem. I think it's getting there. Is it getting there? Let's not move the body position down. Maybe that's all right. Okay. Head can be slightly placed forward, down, like on upper chest. Head movement can be up and down. This will make it better. There is a little bit of up and down movement, but I don't want to over exaggerate it. I think one of the remaining problems anyway, is this this leg right. Let's see. Where is that? Maybe that's better. I don't know. I may have to tweak this some more. I think maybe the left leg is moving too much now. What if I just remove a pixel off of there? The arm with weapon is like fixed head movement. Maybe this will fix it. I'm not going to change the head right now. Leg right. Oh, the right arm. I'm focused on the legs right now. Trying to figure out this right leg still looks janky. Maybe that will work. I don't know. We'll see. Actually, I think maybe part of the problem is maybe just this foot. Actually, what happens if I do this? Well, I might have to come back to this later. Yeah, this is not looking good. Well, I sense another animation redo coming up in my future. Why is that so weird? I don't know why the leg right is so weird. Feels like it has a lot of travel time compared to everything else. Where is that travel time coming from? And then it goes here. One to -2. What if I just make that quicker? No, it's this. Feels like these easings are not doing anything. Actually, maybe the easings were the problem. Let's see. No, I'm gonna have to redo probably the legs again. How does this blend space work? Character, nope. Character paladin, where is that? Wonder if I can replace... I keep clicking on the wrong thing. Here we go. Parameters blend position. Okay, so the blend position is the only thing that matters, so I can change this. I can remove this. I can add the animation run alternate. Okay, let's reset the position. Make the animation tree active. Reset. If I load up the character paladin again, it should be an idle animation. Okay. Let's just see what this looks like in game. Actually, it doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look terrible in game. It's easy to see all the issues. It's easy to see all the issues in the animation player, but when it's actually moving in game, it doesn't look terrible. So I may tweak that some more, but we'll see. I don't care. I don't care. Oh, is this a leaf node that's not connected to anything? That's a little concerning. Oops. That should hopefully never happen in the game. Why is that going... Is that really how slow it is? Oh, I can't play the animations in here. Animation tree, blend space, go. You know what? It's probably fine. I think it looks relatively okay in game. You're not really going to be able to see the little oddities of the animation. And I actually kind of like the fact that his animation is slower than everyone else's, because it makes it, I don't know, it kind of makes him feel like he's bulkier. So maybe we'll just call that good for now. The most important part is his little physics things are swinging around. His physics skull rope. That's the most important thing. The scythe is heavy, it should not move much. Well, I'm trying to make it look like he's like bringing it forward with like a force, right? Like he's actually pulling it forward as he's moving. He's not just dragging it. He's like, I'm trying to give the impression that he's like pulling it with him. Hello, Real Cruda. Welcome back to the stream. We just got out of bed. It's nearly 5 p.m. Oh no. Hope everything's okay. All right, well, we can just roll with this, I guess. The physics is the most important thing. I think most players are going to be looking at the little skulls flinging around. Leg pain mostly hurts so much. Sorry to hear that. Is it new character? It is new character time yet again. Yes, indeed. Hello. Hello, Anthony. Any necromancer worth their salt needs a physics-based rope thingy. I agree. What the heck happened there? Oh, I think my reagent particles are broken by 4.7, because I remember they fixed some kind of like rotation stuff in the shaders, or in the, not the shaders, the particle system. Reagent particles are have a rotation that is way too fast. Bug. Okay. Little run animation to the next node is a nice touch. Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of funny part, is like I spend so much time doing that animation, but it's like that animation plays for like a grand total of like 3/4 of a second in most cases. So it's like, and you're not really going to notice it because you're going to be looking at like these kinds of screens more. So I still want to make the animation look good, but at the same time, like it doesn't need to be perfect, because it doesn't really, it's not really a major visual point of the game. Okay. New paladin run animation. All right, so let's design, let's start thinking of some artifacts for this guy. So I want to make him scale off of weapons and corruption. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do for that? We need an artifact that gives you some kind of power based on corruption. And also probably an artifact, or maybe we can combine them, right? Maybe we can make it so that corrupted abilities on weapons are provide some kind of bonus. How's game dev stuff going today? It's going pretty good. It's going pretty good. Thank you, Among Us. Yeah, I try to take your feedback into account, but you know, I still have to make the game myself. So if I don't accept your feedback, don't take it personal. But I do try to incorporate as much of your feedback as I can. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Can't really complain. Just gotta focus on getting Alcabortis out the door. I actually had I'm pretty sure, well, maybe I shouldn't say that, because can you really ever be sure of anything? But I have a pretty good idea of the game that I want to make after Alcamortis now. It came to me in a dream last night. No, it didn't. It came to me as I was falling asleep last night, but I think it's going to be really cool. It's going to be another auto battler kind of slash not really auto battler kind of thing. I don't know. I'm kind of blending. Well, the idea is to blend a couple of ideas from like Vampire Survivors, incremental games, and like strategy slash auto battler. So we're gonna see how it goes. Unfortunately, though, fortunately, I have to finish Alchemortis first before I start building out that prototype. But I think it'll be cool. I don't think there's a game quite like it on Steam. That's the other thing that's exciting about it. Now, that's also kind of dangerous, right? Because like sometimes there are good reasons why certain types of games aren't on Steam, and it's because they don't work from a game design perspective, right? So like sometimes I'm afraid if I have original idea that I don't think has quite been done before, because then it's like you don't know if it's going to work. And probably the probability is actually higher that it's not going to work, which is the reason why there's no such game like it on Steam. You know what I mean? But that's what prototyping is for. So yeah, I think it's going to be cool, but we'll see. I love that animation. I looked at the deck builders hacking type game side of things. There's not many right now. Yeah, yours looks really unique for sure. Do you have any piece of advice for someone that struggles to think of game ideas, gameplay mechanics, or design? Yeah, I mean, I think what a perfectly viable thing to do is to just find a game that you like or that is popular, or ideally both, a game that you like that is also popular, that is possible for you to make as a solo developer. And then just like change one thing about it, like add one core twist on that genre, or present it in a slightly different way with some different mechanics, you know. I feel like there's a problem here. Hold on a second. Oh, I have a problem in my art. If I had to create a UI to explain why you won or lost a battle with how complicated an auto battler is, how would you go about it? So with an auto battler, you basically have like a timeline of events, right? There is, you have things that deal damage, that apply status effects, whatever, and those happen at certain points in time. And so the way that I've approached it in Alchemortis is you want to make sure that every instance of damage or status effect flows through a central system. So like whenever I want to deal damage to something, I have to do it against the damage component. Where is that? Or combat component. So I have to do it through this combat component. So whenever I want to deal damage to anything, like either the player or the enemy, it has to come through this damage function with this damage context. And the damage context is just basically a data container that contains all of the context around what happened with that damage. And what this method does is not only does it actually deal the damage to the thing, but it also tracks the damage in the history, right? So anytime I call damage, this is going to enter an entry into this long-term damage dealt entries list here. And so basically, anytime anything happens to your game, what you want to do is you want to make sure that it flows through a central system. Because when it flows through a central system, it becomes very easy to do additional things when something happens. So in this game, I know that every single time damage is dealt, it's going to go through this board combat component. Therefore, I can do whatever I need to do inside of there, right? I can notify when damage has been dealt. I can track the damage dealt in a long-lived history. And that's basically the core idea. And then I think you could see how it becomes easier to create like a post-combat summary if you're tracking all that stuff, right? And because it's going through a central system, I'm guaranteed that every single instance of damage is going to end up in this history, because there's no other way I can apply damage. There's literally no other way. It has to go through this method. So that's what you kind of want to do when you have a lot of data to manage. You want to like unify that pipeline as much as possible. Like, you don't want to have a bunch of like disparate places in the code all doing the same thing, because then that like multiplies the surface area that you have when you need to like hook into when certain like damage events happen, right? So you want to create a unified pipeline for your damage applications, for your status applications, and then it becomes really easy to like track stuff as it happens, because everything's flowing through that pipeline. And then once you have all that stuff tracked, it becomes relatively easy to just pull data out of that history object and display it on like a combat screen, right? So that's how I'd recommend approaching it. Yeah, the fewer, generally speaking, like you want to unify your, I call them data pipelines. I don't know if that's correct, but one of the ways you can make your system a lot easier to work with and a lot easier to reason about is like focus on unifying the common like data pipelines. Have all of the similar features and functions go through the same exact system, and it becomes really easy to like branch off of that pipeline when you need to. That's what I would say. Are you doing game dev full time? Oh wait, here we go. Sorry, real quick. There's a lot of work to be done still, constantly prototyping different designs. Want the AI to be more adaptive depending on where the player is inside the system. Yeah, game dev is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Are you doing game dev full time? If so, for how long? Yeah, I've been doing game dev for almost 2 years now. I started in August of 2024. I've been full time. Now, I don't want to give anyone the wrong impression. I haven't been profitable during that time. Basically, I've just been slowly dwindling down my savings, but hoping to turn that around with Alchemortis. And if I can't, then, well, whatever. I'll have to go get a job. Hello, A the Ant. Welcome back. My Discord got hacked. Uh-oh. Sorry to hear that. It's very useful, thank you. Another reason why more YouTube shorts with your insights would be gold content. Yeah, I could do that. Approach it like a truck. Bedtime now. Bye, keep it up. You're doing nice. Thank you. And have a good night. All right, let's create an artifact for this paladin. I gotta think of some creative way to do... that. But I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break again, and when I come back, we will see what we can stub out here. Okay, it's me again. Your favorite niche e-celeb is back. I think you will. Game looks good. Thank you, Bit Beginnings. I appreciate that. We will see. We will see. You know, we don't want to count our chickens before they hatch. Like I said before, I will be happy if this game sells enough to just give me like another year of funding. Like if that happens, it will be slightly disappointing because I'm hoping for more than that. But also at the same time, it will at least allow me to continue doing this, you know, make another game and see how that does. But we'll see. Who knows? Who knows? It is the great adventure of life, I suppose. So I want to do an artifact that does something with corruption and weapons. I don't really have a bleed artifact. I wonder... wonder if doing something like kind of relatively straightforward, like based on the number of corrupted abilities you have on a weapon. Well, let me think about this. Based on the number of corrupted abilities you have on a weapon, you gain like increasing bonuses. What would the bonuses look? I mean, I'm thinking for like weapons, you know, we could add bleed to weapons because weapons generally deal physical damage. We could add bleed to weapons. I would say increase their crit chance and crit multiplier, but we already have an artifact that does that for weapons specifically. It could be the case that it could just be a straight damage ability. Like we could do something like, we could do like a double multiplier. So it could be something like a weapon gains, you know, X amount of damage for each adjacent weapon multiplied by the number of corrupted abilities on it or something like that. So let's say that you did, let's just call it 1 damage just for example purposes. So you've got 1 damage per adjacent weapon, but that's per corrupted ability. So if you have 1 corrupted ability and you have 4 adjacent weapons, you deal 4 damage. If you've got 2 corrupted abilities and 4 adjacent weapons, you would do 8 damage, right? If you got 3 corrupted abilities and 4 adjacent weapons, you would do 12 damage. So something like that could work, because then it's like you want to maximize the number of weapons that you have adjacent to each other, but then you also need to play the game of like balancing the corrupted abilities on each weapon. The problem with that kind of approach, though, is that forces you into like just wanting to maximize weapons as well. So I wonder if it would be better just to give weapons a standalone buff based on their corrupted abilities. The other thing to do is we could do something interesting. Like we could have weapons copy the corrupted abilities of all adjacent items and then make adjacent items immune to corruption. So it's like the weapons are absorbing all the corrupted abilities onto themselves, and then we can apply some kind of damage bonus based on how many corrupted abilities are on the weapon. That could work, because then it becomes a little bit more interesting, right? Because you can get corrupted abilities on your other items and negate them by putting a weapon adjacent to it, but then that weapon also gains, like in addition to gaining all the negative corrupted abilities, it will gain like some kind of huge damage bonus based on how many total corrupted abilities are on it. That sounds cool to me, actually. Yeah, that sounds cool to me. Did you solve the mouse error that came up 2 days ago? Yes, I believe so. If I know what you're talking about. portion of corruption on your weapon hurts yourself. Well, the thing about corrupted abilities is they're already negative abilities. So if a weapon has 8 corrupted abilities on it, you're just going to take like 8 penalties, right? It could be like self-damage, self-poison, reduction of critical chance, all that kind of stuff. So the corruption abilities are already negative. We don't need to add an additional penalty on top of that. What is my secret ability? Can you do a flip? I could play guitar, if that's a secret ability. See? This is one of my 4 guitars. That guitar is my first ESP, and I have to say, I really like ESP. I can't believe I didn't buy an ESP earlier because that's, of course, that's the guitars that Metallica uses. For any corruption damage you take, you increase your crit chance bonus. That could work. Corruption increases your bonuses, but decreases your normal damage. Is the mic bad? Can anyone else confirm if the mic is bad? Content, guitar stream. That's a really cool secret ability. Thank you. Corruption increases your damage, but decreases your attack speed. That's a good idea too. Does that mean you create your own soundtracks? No, I'm not. I can play guitar, but I'm not a good musician. Like I'm good at like just like learning songs and basically repeating them, but I have no music theory abilities or anything. I'm not like a real musician. I just learn how to like do the you know, the riffs and stuff for the songs that I want to do, but you ask me to go out on a limb and like play an A chord or whatever, I'm like, I don't know what that is. So I don't want to give you guys the wrong impression. I'm not like a great musician. I'm not that great of a guitarist either. I mean, I can hold my own, but it's just something I do for fun. It's not anything super impressive. Okay, artifact, A sprite. Okay. So we got to think of some kind of idea for this. I mean, we don't have an artifact that's just a straight up sword. Maybe we'll just do like a corrupted sword or something. Yeah. We will do that. Oh, this is kind of awkward. Are you serious to me? Oh, I can shift it over. Gotcha. That's not right, no. Why is this off? Oh, it's a little bit off. Okay. What does the paladin do? We're gonna make him scale off of weapons and corruption. I think corruption on the weapons is what we're gonna do. So maybe I don't know, I guess I'm kind of thinking... Yeah. What I'm thinking about doing is wrapping this in vines. So if I do, let's just use this purple, I guess. So I have like a vine here. I have to be careful to stay far enough away from the edge. That shape is not that good. Let me think about this a little bit more. This is going to be a little bit difficult, I think. Because we're going to lose definition on the sword. So that's going to be a problem. But maybe it'll work, because what I'm probably going to want to do is put... Yeah, see, this is the problem, is I do this, and it kind of deletes a lot of the sword definition. So I may actually need to do something a little bit different here. I may need to use this color to darken where it meets. I mean, now I don't even think that extra shape is that good here. Shoot. Yeah, we'll just do something like that instead, I guess. That'll probably work. It's cool anyway. I tried piano, but music is really hard. It is really hard. Composing is a different matter entirely, yeah. If you want to be like a really good musician, that's very, very difficult. Very difficult. I can play an acorn. Oh, that's with the little acorn hood thing. Blood dripping off the sword. Yeah, we can do that. Did you use this color palette for your whole game? Yes, I do. Yeah, 8 colors for the whole game. Every single pixel that ends up on screen is one of the 8 colors, so... Okay, sorry about this. I need another quick 3-minute break, and then we'll see how far we can get with this. Okay, sorry about that. Well, I mean, let's just go on with this approach here. I'll just try to shade it up and see if we can make it look decent. And we'll just see how that goes. We will just see how that goes. Yeah, there's not enough contrast between these things, so I may actually end up needing to do something like this, which is also going to severely impact the readability of the sword here, but I don't really know if there's a better way to do it, aside from choosing a different design. I mean, it might be okay. We'll just roll with it for a second. Dang it, that's too close. I mean, I don't think it's bad. These need to be at least 3 pixels away from each edge. I think that's good. I don't think it's bad. I could potentially extend this part. Can I extend it out? No, because then I'm going to be too close to the edge there. I could potentially... Can I move this whole thing? Can I just like move this inward? Okay, let's delete that. Put the background back. If I do that, that gives me more room to show the tip of the sword there, which is probably better. Yeah, I think that's probably better. That makes it read more like a sword now. Yeah. Okay, and then here we're just going to do... Yeah, something like that. If you made the sword longer, that may fix... Oh, look at that. Good minds think alike. Not great ones, though. Just good for now. I think that does look better. I mean, the sword... I can't make the sword any longer than this. I'm literally at the bounds of what I can do. Because of the... I need to be 3 pixels away. Actually, is there a... Oh, wait. Can I do... I can do another one. Ah... Yes. Look at that. And then I can probably just, yeah. Okay. Excellent. Hey, that turned out pretty good, I think. That turned out pretty good. All right, let's create... Do I have an artifact creation tool? I do. Here we go. Okay, edit this region. Grid snap. 24 by 24. Okay. So what do we want to do for this? I'm going to have to give this a name. But I'll do that later. So the idea was... we want to copy all the corrupted abilities off of adjacent allied items onto the weapon, and then have the weapon deal some like damage based on that, I think. Right? I don't know how to word that. So this would be like keyword weapon weapons, copy adjacent, copy all keyword corrupted abilities of adjacent we're going to want to do non-weapon, because then otherwise we're going to end up with a whole cascade of copying. Non-keyword weapon items. For each corrupted, let's do keyword weapons deal damage per corrupted ability. So I'm missing the detail about this being like giving immunity to those items, but that's fine. Oops. No artifact found for artifact ID corrupted sword. Why is that the case? What? Oh, I forgot to build, that's why. Gotta build. You can't really test your changes if you haven't built the code. Why did this one update? Okay, never mind. Oh, got character ID as well. Unlock ID didn't change. Corrupted sword, okay. And we're just gonna copy this. Corrupted sword. Composed ability, this one will be copy corrupted. That's fine. Filter, we will return base card is owned by player, right? So we filter that down. So basically the way that this works is like an artifact can put abilities onto items. And what ends up happening is I add this ability filter. This runs on the base artifact. So I've got my ability filters here. And basically whatever happens whenever a state change is detected in the board, it will run through these filters. And so if this filter passes, it will put whatever is returned by get abilities onto that item. So this filter runs for this item. I can return true or false, which indicates whether I want the abilities to be put on the item. And then if that filter passes, it puts the abilities on there from here. So that's how that works. This create abilities is just like a little helper function where I can just have a separate function where I actually define the abilities, but they end up getting duplicated up here. And the reason is because I don't want every single card to share the same reference to the same ability, right? Because I may have abilities that are tracking their own state. And if they were all shared by reference, that would be bad. So duplicate there. Now I need to figure out how to actually copy abilities. So if I go to my rat here, I I might as well just copy all of this, honestly. We can work off of this. I'm missing, what the heck? Oh. Okay. We don't care about the ability limit. Query target provider, board inventory component adjacent, has custom filter, has corrupted ability. So I don't need this limit provider. Copies all corrupted abilities of adjacent items. And if I really want to be super particular, to query string template here, 0 force card plural true. Artifact, actually this should be a, I hope I'm doing this in a standard way. Let's see. Oh, that's base artifact. Artifact, Manticore Stinger, heal to poison. I would prefer if this was ability, artifact, copy corrupted. Description template parameters func, query target provider dot limit, or query. Okay. Let's see if that works. I'm also going to turn on training dummy. We're going to get rid of this test map height. Okay. Weapons copy all corrupted abilities of adjacent non-weapon items. Oh. Forgot to exclude the weapon tag. Oh, it broke. Object reference not set to an instance of object. What? I did make some changes to how this keyword string is working, so I'm sure I broke it. But let's just see. Keyword 0 is null, really? Tag is -17? What? What? Did I break something? Why does that not work anymore? I need a weapon. How can you see the results of the parameters there in VS Code? I mean, that's just how the debugger works. If you get the C# debugger set up, typically you can just see whatever value is currently in a variable or a property or anything. Okay, this is going to be annoying. Let's do ceremonial dagger as well as scythe. Copies all corrupted abilities of adjacent allied weapon items. So that's not quite what I want. Why does this not work? What I'm essentially trying to do is I'm trying to say that the tag filter is going to be equal to everything that's not a weapon. Which that should do it. Hold on a second. Okay, so yeah, this is a bitwise complement operator. This is essentially inverting this, which is what I understood it to be doing. However, why is that returning -17? I mean, maybe... Well, I guess it's probably a signed integer or something, or a signed long. So it's probably flipping the sign bit, which would make sense, I suppose. Does that make sense, though? I don't know why that's happening. It could be just a problem in this toQueryString template. Tag keywords to string, get tag keywords. Okay, so maybe I want to look in here actually. This get card tag keywords. Yeah, I think probably this tag toString. I don't know if this is going to work. Let's do edit breakpoint. Tag is equal to card tag dot weapon. I don't think that breakpoint's going to work, but let's see. The conditional breakpoints like don't seem to work that well, or I'm using them wrong. Probably I'm using them wrong. Okay. Right, so what happens if I do tag.toString here now? Oh, it's just literally -17. If I do card tag.weapon dot toString weapon, card tag dot weapon or card tag dot reagent toString. What happens if I do well, so this, I guess the problem is that the bitwise complement flips all the bits in that integer, so I end up with a lot of bits being set that actually don't correspond to a card tag value. Because I'm only using, what, 6 bits? Is that right? Yeah, I'm using 6 bits. Even if it's a 32-bit integer, I'm going to have, you know, whatever it is, 26 bits that are getting flipped as part of the bitwise complement, but it seems to also include a sign bit as well. So it flips it negative, which is kind of weird. So I actually don't know if I want to do this. I'm going to go light up the grill. Thanks for the stream. All right, sounds good. Thanks for joining. I want to try something. I actually don't know if this works, but I don't know. Let's just do new file. card tag extensions. Does this work? Can I do extension methods on enums? I don't think so, but we are going to try it. I always do that. Oh, I can do that. Okay. Is that right? So I'm taking all of the enum values and I'm ANDing them together. Or no, I want to OR them together. OR them together. That should give me a card tag that basically has all of the relevant bits set. And then for exclude, what I can do is I can do... What was the... Let's see. Yeah, this would be all tags, and we want to invert the bit of tag to exclude. I guess this could be tags to exclude. Anyway, let's see here. I actually don't know if that's going to work, but let's see. Tag filter is equal to y is exclude. Does this work? Hard tag dot weapon. There we go. That doesn't work. Oh, I need... Oh, this, I'm doing this wrong. I have to do card tag dot weapon dot exclusion. That's a little bit weird. I might clean that up a little bit later. But anyway, let's see what happens. Of adjacent allied keyword. Okay, so that's doing more what I expected it to do now, which is list out all the keywords. So that's a little bit weird, but that fixes that issue. So for whatever reason, that was just not working the right way, but that's, I went through that whole rigmarole to do that, but that's not actually what I want to do anyway, because I want to do query target provider.query options.custom filter description is equal to non keyword keywords.weapon. Finally implementing the romanceable character? No. No. That did not work. Why didn't that work? Oh, tag filter string override is what I want. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to have to end the stream there, but thank you for watching. I will continue working on this afternoon, but it's going a little bit slower than I thought it would, but that's because you just end up hitting all these kinds of issues. But you can wishlist Alka Mortis on Steam. I'd appreciate that. And hope you all have a great day. If I stream again, I'll hit up the Discord. Otherwise, yeah. Bye-bye for now.